The birth of a new era in China because the government just announced that they're getting rid of their one-child policy, the one that forced many families to only have one offspring or face tremendous fines. And immediately, the economic waves and the speculation of the markets went rampant. All the condoms brands in Japan specifically, because it's the market that they like the most, they went down. Dairy products, baby products, they went up all the way down to New Zealand. We saw that the dairy industry in New Zealand, their stocks went up because now every married couple in China will be allowed to have a second child.
Right, and now there still is a cap as far as I understand, so it's at 2, right?
Yes.
It's not make as many children as you want, keep it at 2. Now, even that's kind of crazy. I'm waiting for a time when they completely abolish this system. Now, although I find it, very necessary as far as, the whole world goes. I mean, still, that would be pretty cool. And I think they're not doing it from a moral standpoint. They're kind of just doing it because their workforce is getting old and they kind of have to do it.
Exactly. A little background. This was made because in the 20th century, there was a spike in the population growth in China, and the government decided to control it by imposing this restriction. And now, projecting into the future, they know, and we have a graphic where we can see what is going on with the population in China. They see that their aging population is going up and the working force is getting slimmer. We're talking about 1.4 billion people that live in China. They have about 16 million births each year, and it's not enough to keep the working force stacked up as much to be competitive. Now, we're talking about the most populous state in the world, and still they want to be more.
I mean, can you imagine that, as a woman, the government coming in and telling you, you need to get an abortion, you cannot have this child, we need to go against nature. That's so crazy to me.
And it's the complete opposite. The previous dynasties, the whole point was to have as many kids because a strong China was the one that had the most Chinese. And that was the reason why this spike happened. Now they're trying to kind of balance things out. But now, before it gets better, it's going to get worse because the cost of raising new kids, it's high, and many families can't afford it, and that's why they're not applying for the permit. They thought that they will have a higher acceptance really, really quick, which hasn't been the case, and they're fighting this idea of the small emperors, this generation of Chinese that didn't develop certain skills that other people with siblings have, like developing trustworthy, developing the ability to take risks. They are so protected by their families, and it's the only reason of their lives. And there's studies in China that assess the situation as a whole generation that is fracturing the whole Chinese society.
That's just funny, little emperors.
Little emperors, that's how they call them.
Warriors.
We want to know your opinion. Do you think that the world needs more population control, like the experiment that China did, and now they're backtracking a little bit from it? Let us know in the comments below, and if you haven't, please subscribe to the Lib TV 2.